Across the Western world, the left is losing its way. In Britain, Labour's popularity has collapsed almost overnight. In Germany, the Social Democrats are polling near record lows. And in the United States, Democrats look tired, defensive, and disconnected from ordinary voters. But in Mexico, something very different is happening. The left there is winning, and winning with confidence. Since 2018, Mexico's politics has been dominated by Morena, the movement created by Andrés Manuel López Obrador, and now led by President Claudia Sheinbaum. Both have done something the European left hasn't managed in years. They've earned trust. Their secret? Pragmatism, moderation, and a deep respect for ordinary people. While Europe's progressives get lost in cultural battles and bureaucracy, Mexico's left has focused on what truly matters: dignity, fairness, and wages. Under López Obrador, the Mexican minimum wage nearly doubled in real terms. More than 5 million people were lifted out of poverty. Inflation stayed under control, and the state kept its finances balanced. There was no revolution, no utopia, just practical reform done patiently and honestly. And President Sheinbaum, a scientist by training, has continued that formula. Less ideology, more competence. Less noise, more delivery. Now compare that to Europe. Our left-wing parties talk endlessly about values, but often forget about value, what things actually cost, and how people actually live. In Brussels and Berlin, progressives speak the language of reports and frameworks, not of ordinary life. They've become technocrats of virtue, not builders of hope. Meanwhile, the right fills that emotional space with anger and nostalgia. And the left keeps wondering why voters stop listening. The Mexican lesson is simple. People don't want theory. They want dignity. They want governments that talk less about identity and more about income. López Obrador called his model Republican austerity. He cut waste, lowered privilege, and raised the floor for everyone. That's not populism. That's moral seriousness. And that's what Europe has lost. But it can be rediscovered. Europe's left doesn't need new slogans. It needs new sincerity. It needs to remember that social justice and fiscal discipline are not opposites. They're two sides of responsibility. The responsibility to govern well. Maybe that's why the Mexican left still feels like a movement, while Europe's feels like a committee. The Mexican left listens. The European left explains. One speaks from conviction, the other from caution. If the left in Europe wants to survive, it must speak again to the worker, not to the algorithm. It must talk about wages, not hashtags. And it must learn, like Mexico did, that moderation isn't weakness, it's strength. Mexico's quiet success is a reminder that the best revolutions are the ones that restore balance. And perhaps that's what Europe needs most today: balance, dignity, and the courage to be normal again. If you like this video, please subscribe to Western Relations for more analysis on politics, diplomacy, and culture in the Western world. And visit westernrelations.com for in-depth features on Australia, Europe's role in a changing global order.